everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of the Kristel Knits podcast. I'm Kristel. I knit. I also collect hand-dyed yarn, and this is just a small space for a big love of knitting and fibres. A big love of fibres. And Christmas! It is the 1st of December today. I am here in southeast Victoria. I live here with my husband and 2 daughters and our puppy Jasmine and our cat Peaches. My eldest daughter and I are actually home today. She has a bad cold. I do too, but mine's not as bad as hers. We've both been COVID tested and that was negative, so that was wonderful, but I'm still keeping her home because she is still very congested and the school prefers her to not go while she's super snotty, which is fair enough. So I'm sitting here recording way earlier than I ever, no, that's not true. I have recorded before I went to work before, but normally I would wait till after work and give the kids iPads and then get the recording done, or wait until the weekend. It is very, very warm today. It is 30 degrees outside, so if you hear my air conditioner going, I have got it on quiet, but it still might make some noise, and I'm sorry about that, but it is way too hot to not have it on today. Not stopping me from having a hot cup of coffee though. My Santa mug. But I do also have some water here because I had a tummy bug last week and I've been struggling to get hydrated again since then, so I've been trying to just keep my water around with me all the time. First a tummy bug, now a cold. It's just never ending. I apologize. I am wearing a finished object. This is my green shawl by Tinkerine Knits. I finally finished it. I think I've been knitting it since February, but yeah, I finally finished it. It's a lot of garter stitch, which was nice, just good mindless knitting at points, but then I decided to add in some minis to make it a little bit more interesting, although the colour bites, the main colour by itself would have been just as beautiful, but I really wanted to put some pops of colour in there. The purple and the grey are mystery minis. I have no idea what they are, so I can't tell you, but the glitter minis, so the yellow, the light peachy colour, and the blue are glitter minis from Melbourne City Dyeworks. I bought those from Pauline last Christmas, I think, and I bought my mother-in-law a Christmas present from Pauline, so, and I snagged the minis for myself. The main colour is Empathy by Dragonfly yarn dye, and it's absolutely stunning. I'll take the whole thing off so you can have a look. So this is the green shawl by Tinkerine Knits. It's a beginner shawl, lots of garter stitch, and then you've got increases in the middle, and I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, on the edges here as well. So yeah, you start it with a tab, a little garter tab, and then you pick up stitches and keep knitting. So it ended up being nice and big after I blocked it. I just soaked it and then hung it up on my line because it seemed to grow quite a lot just after being soaked. I was quite happy with that. Yeah, it's beautiful and lightweight. It's not big enough for like a schlanket. It's definitely not that sized. Oops, sorry, tree. But it can go around my shoulders if I need it to. I never thought I would wear shawls like this, but I have an old woven scarf and I was wearing it like this at work the other day. It was actually beautiful for blocking out the wind, so I won't be surprised if I do start wearing shawls and stuff like this. It's a good way to show off the colours as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. It is a bit warm to be wearing it today, but I really wanted to show you guys. This is how I will probably wear it. Oh, not that loose. I've lost my tail end. There it is. There we go. Because when I do wear shawls, I do like them up around my neck, just to keep me warm. It's kind of the whole point of it. But this one, I like to have it pulled out so you can see all those beautiful colours. I think it's going to go perfectly with a. I wear a lot of jeans and t-shirts when I'm not at work. I sewed that during winter. With this, would look very nice. Or even during autumn and spring when it's a little bit cool but not cool enough for a jacket. So yeah, that's my finished object. This is how much of the empathy I have left. That is not much at all. I didn't plan it that way. I was not trying to play yarn chicken. I bound off the last stitch and went, oh, well, I'm glad I cast off when I did, because it would have been a disaster otherwise. So that's my finished object, and that's the only finished object. I know it's been about 5 weeks since I recorded, but between being sick and being back at work full time, excuse me, my daughters have also been sick. We're all just taking it in turns. I think the only one who hasn't been sick has been my husband, so he's very lucky. It's probably because I am very close quarters with the girls, and then working at school as well. There's a lot of germs, even though we're all being as safe as we possibly can, and I wear a mask all day. It's still excuse me, there's a lot of bugs and stuff going around. And my immune system is not fantastic. It's not, I'm not immunocompromised or anything, but I seem to catch every little bug. I always have. So yeah. All right, what have I been working on in the 5 weeks or whatever it's been since I saw you? So I was working on my shawl and I finished that. I am working on my daughter's socks still. They are almost done. So these became my take to work knitting. The problem is work is so full on at the moment. I need my full hour at work to just decompress. Sometimes I don't even pick up my knitting needles, so I think I'm just gonna have to keep them at home and work on them as much as I can. So that's, obviously I haven't finished the first. Like, I ended up putting light bulb stitch markers in. I know I could just count by the stripes, but the stripes are slightly different on the second one, so I'm counting my rows to make sure they end up being the same size. So the green at the top is just that, I think it's 1 row. Oh, maybe it's 2 actually. I think it's 2 rows more than the first sock, which doesn't bother me that much. I say that much because it bothers me enough to notice it, but not enough to do anything about it. Sorry, I'm so congested, so sometimes I need to remind myself to breathe. So I've gotten past the point where I have to put the heel in. The heel went in at 50 rounds here, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. My heel will go in here, which is right in the middle of a stripe, which I'm not okay with. I think I'm going to just put it down 3 more rounds and put it into the same between the stripes like this one is. Just that way, at least the heel part's matching, I guess. And then I'll just remember to do an extra 3 rounds for the foot. No, I'll just make sure I have the right amount of rounds for the foot, which is 10, 20, 30, 40, 57. So I'll just make sure I have 57 for the foot. So I have 10, 20, 30. I think I just passed 40. I just haven't put the stitch marker in. So I should only have about 17 or so to go, 17 rounds or so to go before I do my toes. And I can cut in the heel, and that's a pair of socks done, which is great because I have lots of socks to be knitting at the moment. I'll talk about that later though. All right, that's that. Another thing that I started, well, I didn't start, I actually started it months and months ago, but my daughter found it and pulled it out and asked if I would keep making it. It's a blanket, a crocheted blanket. And I know you're saying, but Kristel, you just changed your name from Books, Hooks and Yarn to Kristel Knits because you don't crochet. Well, I don't crochet much. The only thing I do crochet is blankets. And that's because unless I'm using big needles and chunky yarn, I don't have the patience to sit there and knit a blanket anymore. And I kind of like how quickly crochet can use up yarn. I know it eats through it, like it uses more meterage than knitting does. So I have a ton of acrylic yarn still sitting there that I kept to make blankets with, and I figured it was about time I started actually doing it. So this is just a random stripy blanket that I'm making. I'm not following a pattern or anything. I'm just using a half double stitch, I think. I don't even know what they're called. This is just the one that my hands naturally do when I pick up a crochet hook. So this is it. It's going to be for my youngest daughter. She loves bright colors, and if I could have done a rainbow one for her, she would have been over the moon. But she loves pink and yellow and purple, so I had them all sitting there and I figured, why not? I will finish it off with a darker pink border just to try and tie it all together, I think. Not my colors, to be honest, but that's okay. So this is going to be for my bunny. She's the one that likes, she's the one I made a really awful yellow and orange cowl for, and she loves it. What else have I made her that's horrible? I don't think I've made her much else that's horrible, but she's the one that's got the flax light with the rainbow sleeves, because that's just kind of her personality. She's a rainbow kid. Whereas my eldest and I are both matching in wearing black dresses today, because that's our aesthetic, that's our vibe. And she's just, even her personality for my youngest, she's just a pop of colour in how she acts as well. You never quite know what's going to come out of her mouth. So yeah, that's hers, and I've just been crocheting on that whenever I feel like it, to be honest. I was going to try and get it done for her for Christmas, but I realised I'm no good at deadline knitting, and I've got a bit of deadline knitting coming up, so this doesn't have to be deadline knitting, so I'm not going to make it be. I am storing this on top of, and all the yarn is inside of this bag that I got from Kristel Knits. So he sent this to me for my birthday, and I absolutely love it. So it's got the pockets on the outside, so that's where I keep my hook. And then it's just huge. I've got every single ball of yarn in here, and there's quite a lot of them, just all wound up, ready to go. And yeah, it fits it quite comfortably. And then I just stick the blanket on top inside the handles. Here we go. And that just sits beside my bed, and I crochet on that at night time if I haven't just fallen straight to sleep, which means I haven't crocheted on it for about 2 weeks, to be honest. I was averaging a colour a day for a few days there, and then life happened and I got run down, and yeah, what can you do? It's a really good coffee. It's my first one of the day. I've cut down to one a day, and it's hard. It's probably why I've got no energy, but I'm sleeping better. So maybe if I am going to have two, I have to make sure it's before lunchtime. Alright, and the final thing I've been working on, I will still give a spoiler alert, just on the off chance that somebody is still working on theirs and being very good at keeping it all a mystery. I'm about to show my Shawlography, so don't look if you don't want to. I am not finished yet. I lost my knitting mojo with being sick and run down and everything, and I just couldn't pick up anything. I don't even know how I got the grain shawl finished, to be honest, because I just didn't want to knit. I was coming home, so I'd finish work, I'd start mum duties, and then I would go straight to bed and go to sleep. I was in bed by 9 o'clock for about a week and a half, straight to sleep. I just have had no energy to do anything. But I picked it up again the other day, and I finished my brioche, and then I did the crisscrosses, and now I am doing the border. So once I did pick it up and keep going on, it just kind of finished itself off in some ways. Well, the certain portions did. All right, so I don't even know where to start to show you. So last time I showed you, I was up to, have to find my stitch marker, progress keeper, there it is, there's my flower. I was up to the brioche. I think I'd done like the first 2 rows of the brioche. Now the problem is I got halfway through my brioche and then I ripped it out again. I think that kind of messed with my mojo, because I thought I had messed up the brioche, and it turns out I hadn't. I just forgot that it kind of looks like a mess as you're doing it. I have made a mistake on the other side for about I would say maybe half the row, but it's on the back and it's not really noticeable. It is if I point it out now. See how it's got that line going through it? I think I knit a row instead of purling it or something, I'm not sure. By that stage I did not care. So, and you can't see it from the front, so I was like, whatever. All right, so I've done my brioche, and then I did these crisscrosses, which I actually really enjoyed doing. I know some people are talking about them being tight. I had no issues, which is odd because I was very concerned, because I am a tight knitter. as you can tell, because I don't think my shawl is anywhere near as big as Stephen's is, even though I know he's blocked his. Mine still doesn't feel as big, and I sized up in needles. So I did the crisscrosses, really enjoyed those actually. I finished them in one night because I was enjoying the process so much. Oh no, I lie, I kept 2 crisscrosses I think at the end to do on knit night last week, and then I started my border. Now I know a lot of people have had issues with these stripes. I'm not hating them, to be honest, because after all the very busy details of the shawl, this is very full on. Like, there's a lot going on in the shawl. It's kind of nice to finish off with something simple. I wouldn't even be mad if we'd finished off with like an alternating thing. And what I loved about it is I got to choose the order of my colors, and I chose them in the order that I kind of pictured them in my brain when I picked the colors. So I'll just use the shawl to show you. This blue, Night Sky by Mel from DownUnderDyer, Delicate by Maximu Yarns, and Shell by Dragonfly Yarn. They all kind of were meant to go together in my brain. You can't really see it on, oh, there's a couple of specks. There's a couple of specks of blue in this colorway, as well as some pink and some yellow. So I paired it with this pink and this blue because I figured they will all kind of go together. And they haven't really been used together in that way throughout the whole thing. So that was a bit frustrating, but I mean, that's what happens in mystery shawls. You don't get to pick your color orders. But I did for the border. So I got to make sure I put the blue and the speckled color and the pink in order the way I wanted them. And I love this blue and this purple together. I was so happy when they were my brioche colors. So I wanted to put them together, but I haven't really used the purple and the gray together except for down here in the slip stitch section. So I really wanted to use those together. So my order kind of worked out perfectly. And then who can resist some gray and some light pink together? So I can't. So I've been very happy with it. Only thing I don't like is that when we started this third stripe, we cast off a bunch of stitches in that color. So I had this weird blue border on this white speckle part. Not a huge fan of that part, but you can't actually see it that much when I hold it up. So maybe that's just my brain picking at things. So that's how much of my border I've had done. Yeah, I don't know. It takes me about 15 minutes for a stripe. So I try to get 3 done if I sit down to do it, but like last night, I didn't do any. The night before, I could only do the 1 grey stripe. I'll plug away at it and it'll be done eventually. It might get put to the side for a little bit because I have Advent knitting coming up. So yeah, it will be done eventually. It might not be done before 2021 finishes. And that's okay because I am just enjoying the process. All right, let's see. I've got this in a big, beautiful bag by Lovely. Oh, sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze. Nope, I'm good. Okay. Tuck that in. This is from Lovely Yarns. Their products are amazing. Their yarn is beautiful. Their bags are gorgeous. Their tassels and their little stitch markers on the zipper are just huge selling point for me. I'll just toss that over there. Oh, I might just get that. It was supposed to land on my couch and it did not. All right, Advent knitting. Where to start? I think I will start with rainbows and sprinkles. So, I ordered 3 Advents this year. I ordered 4, sorry. FortuneYarnCo. So I ordered one from June, which is the 24 minis, 25 minis, I think actually, sorry. One from Mel of DownUnderDyer, that's 24 10-gram minis and a 100-gram skein. A self-striping sock one from Rainbows and Sprinkles, and a stitch marker one from the Gamer Widows, which I think is very cool. So yeah, my idea, I am going to do Vlogmas, so I am starting with a podcast today, and I'll open up my first lot of advents today, and then from tomorrow onwards it'll just be the short videos. I'm not putting pressure on myself to have them uploaded every day on the day that I record, because I work full-time and I have 2 children and I'm already run down. So I'm just gonna take it easy. It's my first Vlogmas, and I'm not really doing it for, what's the word I'm looking for? Not exposure. I'm not like looking to grow my viewership or anything. I'm just doing it because I think Vlogmas videos are great and I would like to try it out one year. So I'm trying it out this year. Okay, so Rainbows and Sprinkles came in this beautiful pink box, which is open because I have no self-control. Megan has included 100 grams of Be Jolly. By the way, spoilers, if you don't want to see because you haven't opened yours yet, then don't watch. 100 grams of Be Jolly 24 stripe yarn split into 2. So I've got 2 of these little cakes. 100 grams of Strawberry Donut self-striping yarn. So that's like our Christmas Day one. 2 contrasting heel minis in Night and Very Pink Gin. And we have 2 sets of needle toppers in Dough and Christmas Tree. There's actually a 3rd with Purple Tulips. My daughter's already confiscated it because she started knitting again yesterday. So those are the needle toppers. And there's some a sock pattern in here as well by Rye Flower Knits. So let me get that up, because I'm going to knit these. I'm going to cast these on today. So back to basic socks. So it has toe up and cuff down. I'm going to do cuff down. I'm going to use the grey mini with the very bright, beautiful colours, because I like high contrast between my colours and my heels and toes. So yeah, so when I go to knit the Strawberry Donut, I actually want to use like the hot pink, because I feel like that's high contrast and it'll look amazing. What else do we have in here? We have a little knitting pin. I'm gonna have to put that on my lanyard for work. And a sticker. Things to do: buy yarn, squish yarn, repeat 1 and 2. Well, that's gonna have to like go into my cupboard, I think. My husband will probably kill me for putting a sticker on here, but I think it needs to. Maybe I'll just blue tack it on for now until he doesn't yell at me. And I think that's it. Oh no, there's a candy cane, and I feel like there was a tea or something in here. I can't remember, because I've been taking the teas out of my deliveries lately and putting them into a little container, and I'm gonna have a new tea every day for Advent as well for Vlogmas. So yes, I'm going to cast that on today, and I'm going to try and knit some of my socks every day, and then I'll have a new pair of socks by Christmas, definitely by New Year's, so that'll be good. It's also an afterthought heel for the pattern, which suits me perfectly, so I'll be able to do my cuff, knit my tube and everything. So yeah, I can't wait. I have a couple of pairs of socks to wear. I have no socks to wear for Christmas this year because I haven't knit Christmas socks this year yet. But my husband picked his yarn the other day. I have it in this Christmas bag from Yokomama Textiles. He picked this green, very bright green. It's his favorite green. It is Knitology Happy Little Sock by Knit Crate in the pea pod colorway. So this is 70% superwash merino, 20% tencel, 10% nylon. So I can't wait to knit that up. That'll be interesting. And I've used this red and ollie grey before. It's called Night Owl. It is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. I used it for his last pair of socks, and this is the leftovers from the heels, cuffs and toes. And he loved it, so he asked me to use it again. So I need to cast those on today as well. I think those 2 pairs of socks are going to be it for my knitting projects in December, because that's going to be enough to keep me busy. But that doesn't solve the problem of socks for my 2 daughters and myself. So for my eldest, I'm going to finish these, and these will be her Christmas socks. I decided, apart from myself, I'm not doing Christmas colours for their socks this year, because my daughters especially wouldn't wear their socks again after Christmas finished. So they kind of sat in their drawers. So I decided I would just knit normal coloured socks. That way they can wear them all year round. And my friend Maddie, too many M's, from Mad About You podcast and Mad About You on Instagram, she also has an Etsy store now, which is the Mad About You studio, where she will crank your yarn into sock tubes. So I am sending her this beautiful Christmas colorway from Yokohama Textiles to be cranked into a tube. And then I'm going to use this dark green mini from Rainbow and Sprinkles, and I'm going to cut in cuffs, heels and toes on it, and it's going to be amazing. And that will save me having to knit them. So I'm going to post that off today. I wanted to show you guys, and I didn't get my COVID results until it was either very late last night or very early this morning, but I couldn't leave the house and go to the post office to post it before this anyway. And I'm also going to send this self-strapping gobstopper from Half Baked Hand Dyed and get that cranked up as well, just for another pair of socks for myself. I don't have a contrast for this yet, but I'm sure I will find one. Yeah, so I've got 2 pairs of socks to knit. I'll have heels, no, 3 pairs of socks, because I still have to knit socks for my youngest daughter, which I think I have right here. They're in her Bluey bag, I think. Oh my god, the new episodes of Bluey are so good. Bluey is crocheting in one of them. She crochets herself a scarf, and I think it's amazing. I was so excited. I was taking photos and sending it to my knitting group friends. Yes, these are going to be bunnies. I forgot this is all I've done on them, because I'm doing them on DPNs, because they're too small to do on a circular, and I'm not very proficient at magic loop. Now might be the time to be, though. I might finish the ribbing on the DPNs and then do magic loop for the tube. And I'm going to cheat with hers. I am going to just knit one big long tube, cut in an extra cuff, 2 heels and toes, because I don't have the time or the inclination to sit there and knit 2 tubes. I'm just going to knit one big long one. I don't care if her stripes are matching. She doesn't care if her stripes are matching. So I think I need to stop putting so much pressure on myself to try and make things perfect, especially things that go on our feet, because feet are gross. Excuse me. All right. Well, now that I told you what I'm going to be knitting over Advent, maybe I'll open up my Advents. All right. So who to start with? Starting to lose my voice, so it's probably a good thing that I don't have much more to talk about. I'm going to start with the Gamer Widows. So they all came in these cute little envelopes, and there was a beautiful little bag as well that came with. Let's open it up. It's exciting. It's my first Advent to open. Oh, it's a snow globe. Oh, fat lot of good it is showing you that way. There we go. It's a snow globe. That is so pretty. I love it, and it says happy on it. That's very cute. All right, this one's from Mel of DownUnderDyer, and I can tell because there's a cat on it. And this one's from June of FortuneYarnCo. So I'm going to open this one first. It's got the number 1 on it. I have not peeked at all. I've been very good, been very difficult. I've got them sitting up on a basket on my buffet. Ooh. That is pretty. It's a green speckle. That's very nice. I love it. I have a lot of pink and blue and purple in my 100 gram skeins. A lot of my minis end up being greens because I try and buy them for my husband, but I haven't had one quite like this. This is really pretty. I'm loving this little dark speckle right here. This green's so nice. I would wear this green easily. That's very nice. Right, so I'm going to have to find a way to store these so I know which one is which. I'll just pop that one back in there for now. Might have to do that today. All right, and from Mel. I'm so excited about this. It's purple and it's sparkly. Oh my gosh. That is so pretty. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to knit these into. I've seen so many good ideas, but I think for this year, because they're my first advents, I'm going to keep them until I find the perfect project, and I might do advent knitting with them next Christmas, because I don't want to just start knitting something for the sake of it. I want to knit something I love and I will wear because they're just so beautiful. Look at that. It's so soft and squishy. This purple is divine. This is like one of my favorite purples ever. I like this, and I like a light lavender with still probably this purple on my nails actually. I like this one and I like the dark one. My favorite colors. It's beautiful. All right, put that back in the envelope, keep it safe. Ooh, that was exciting. I can't wait to do that every day. So for Vlogmas, I'm probably just going to show snippets of, I want to start getting up earlier each morning and doing a bit of knitting. I was doing it in winter and it was really nice. I haven't been doing it lately because of how run down I've been, but I'm going to try and go to bed early and get up early and try and get into a better sleep pattern. So I'll get up, show knitting in the mornings, and I'll have a coffee with you for Vlogmas, and then I probably won't show much during the days because I'm at work and I do have to worry about the privacy of my students and the people I work with. But I almost always have something to do after work. So there's normally groceries or some sort of shopping. There'll be Christmas shopping I need to get finished, so I'll take you guys with me to do all that kind of stuff. I tried to get footage of us getting our Christmas tree on the weekend, but my eldest daughter, obviously I didn't know at the time that she was starting to feel sick, but she was in a really awful mood and she was not herself. She normally loves going to get a tree, and she was just crying the whole time and we couldn't understand why, and then she woke up on Sunday and she was sick. So yeah. But I filled a bauble with a mini, so that's from Melbourne City Dyeworks actually. One of her oopsie minis, she wasn't really happy with it and she discounted them when I bought them because I don't think there are any oopsies with hand dyed yarn. I know indie dyers have an image in their head of what they want it to be and what they were aiming for, but if it comes out not that way, I honestly think you should just rebrand it as something else, because it's still a beautiful mini with gorgeous oranges and yellows in it, but because it wasn't what Pauline wanted, she discounted it, and it was like with a whole set, and I was like, well, I can understand why, but at the same time I think indie dyers need to stop shortchanging themselves, because it's a lot of effort what they do, and your customers don't know if they're oopsies. They just would see it and go, well, those are beautiful colors, or those aren't my colors. It's going to be one or the other, and the people that like it say those are my colors are going to buy it. So you don't really need to label them as oopsies. You can just say it is what it is. This is how it turned out. Actually, Mel of DownUnderDyer has done that. She did an oopsie with a skein that she was trying to dye for a Shawlography kit, I think, and it didn't turn out the way it was supposed to, so she just relabeled it and it ended up being her Maleficent colorway, which is just a one of a kind. So I snapped that up because it was so my colors and I loved it. Alright, I guess we are up to, I would love to show you purchases, guys, but I don't really have any. I have been on a yarn ban. I haven't bought yarn since just before my birthday, which means it's been over a month, and I'm not buying yarn until next year. In saying that, Mel is going to be bringing out a colorway soon, and it might just break my yarn ban because it's gorgeous. I do have a non-yarn purchase that I made. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. I bought myself a yarn bowl. So it says more knitting, no quitting, and it is by, turn it around this way, Lemonade Rebellion in Queensland, and I love it. So these are my skeins from my Shawlography I've got in here. Because I have to change them every 14 rows or something at the moment, I just kind of have them sitting in here so I can grab them out. And it's been perfect. I even use it when I wind up yarn. So sometimes I will, if Jasmine gets into a skein of yarn, I just quickly wind it up into a ball, and then later I'll cake it on or re-skein it. But when I do, the ball tends to roll everywhere. So I stick it into the bowl now, because I was just using a mixing bowl before. Put it in the bowl now, and it stops it rolling all over my floor or having to pull a mixing bowl out. So it is lovely, and I love it. Giveaway winners. I drew them. I will pop the name down here. And I will show you what you are getting. I bought this beautiful bag from, sorry, nope, okay, no sneeze, I'm good. From Bonnie Mabel Makes, so on Etsy, and I had to buy it because there's good knitting balls on it. This beautiful striped handle. It's a zipper bag, and it's got rulers on the inside, which I absolutely love. So that's the bag that's going to be coming. Sorry, Bonnie Mabel Makes. And this is the yarn. I chose 3 skeins from my stash. Candy Fluff by Obsession Yarns, which is a mulberry silk kid mohair lace, lace weight. Lilacs by Yarns by the Bay, and Philippa by Rosehip Island. And I chose all 3 of these for specific reasons, and I did explain those, but I will quickly explain them again. Hannah of Rosehip Island was the first Australian knitting podcast I ever discovered, and I watched her entire backlog of episodes. I ended up watching 5 years worth of episodes and catching up to her most recent, and she's still one of my favorites to watch. And we are in a knitting podcast group on Instagram, and I love chatting with her, and her yarn's absolutely stunning. Liz lives around the corner from me, and I really want to go catch up with her in person, but I love her yarn. She doesn't tend to repeat colorways, so you know, if I'm giving you some of her yarn, I must really like you. And Marie Marie sent me a mini in this colorway, and I commissioned her and asked her to make me 100 grams, and I already knit 50 of it. This is the other 50, and it's been sitting in my stash. And while I do love it, I'd like to give it to someone who's going to use it instead of just keeping it in their stash sitting there looking pretty. So these are the 3 with the bag, and I'll pop some extra goodies in there because I always do. So always some chocolates and some teas and some stitch markers, because what is knitting without chocolate tea and stitch markers? So this bag is pretty good. It fits those 3 skeins in there comfortably. There's a lot more room in there. Ta-da! So I will send that off. I did draw the winner right before this, and I said the name over and over, and I have lost it. But either future Kristel will put a video in here, or I will pop the name here. All right. I feel like I've blathered all throughout this thing. I was a bit hesitant to do a podcast today with everything that's going on in the knitting community today. I have no words, but so normally when things like this happen, I don't bury my head in the sand, but I feel unqualified to talk about it because I have an enormous amount of white privilege. So I struggle to, I have opinions obviously, but I struggle to verbalize them without coming across, I don't want to come across as condescending or entitled. Oh, Jasmine, it's okay, it's just music. Sorry. I was saying, I don't want to come across as, I'm just another white person. Like, I can never understand what it's like to be a person of colour and go through what they go through every single day. But racism is something I've always struggled with, in that I don't understand the concept of it, because I don't, it's hard for me to understand how people think the color of a person's skin makes them any different or less entitled to everything in this world. It just blows my mind that people can be that narrow-minded and frankly stupid to think that the color of someone's skin makes them any different or less important than someone who has light skin. I do not understand it all. I can never comprehend it, and I can never comprehend what people of color go through, because I'm not one of them. And I thought it was enough to just not be racist, but I learnt yesterday that you have to do more than just not be racist. You have to be anti-racism. So I have decided from now on I am anti-racism. It is not okay to treat anyone in any community differently because they have different colored skin, or they have an accent, or they come from a different country. They are not any different to us. They are still people. We are all people. I will happily lose followers if your views do not align with mine, because I don't want viewers that think it's okay to treat people differently because of the way they look. Same on Instagram. If this is not something you can align yourself with, feel free to leave, because I do not need racism in any aspect of my life, and I will not allow it. So this isn't even a rant, this is just me making a stand. I stand with Black, Indigenous and people of colour. Simple as that. I do not stand behind them, I stand with them. If you are not sure why this has been included in today's podcast, please go check out Lady Diane's Creative CC and FortuneYarnCo for what has been happening in the knitting community lately. Their voices are much more entitled to talk about this subject than mine is. I just wanted to let everyone know where I stand, because a lot of the time I come on here and I talk about only knitting, and I very rarely let politics or beliefs or anything interfere. But like I said, it's not enough to just know that I'm not racist. I need to start being actively anti-racist. So yeah. I am going to go get my daughter some cold medicine and myself, because I cannot go to work and teach like this tomorrow, and I cannot keep having time off because I've barely been there this term and it sucks. And I'm going to start thinking about what I'm going to do for Vlogmas. Oh, we also got an elf on the shelf. Oh my gosh. So I almost forgot. It was 12:30 at night last night, and I'd already been woken up because one of them woke up for being sick. No, the youngest one woke up because she left her blanket in the lounge room. So I had to go and get that for her. And I remembered when I walked down here that I hadn't done the elf in the shop. So his name is Timber. He was originally called Nicholas, but the girls keep calling him Timber by accident, so his name's Timber. Whatever. And he is going to be trouble. I just feel it in my bones. I'm not letting my husband anywhere near him. I need to go grab some things. I need to post the girls' Santa letters today. I think maybe that will be my priority for today, because that has a deadline. Just going to post the letters and then come straight back home after we've gotten the medicine, because neither of us are really well enough to be out and about and doing things today. Even though we got no negative tests, it's still not okay to be out in the community while you're sick. It's not fair to everyone else. Other than that, I'm going to do some knitting. I might still do like a short little Vlogmas video, maybe, just for practice. It might not be very good. Just a couple of little things today, and I might upload that tonight. I'm not really sure. Other than that, you'll be seeing me every day. So I'm not going to do another big podcast until after Christmas and Boxing Day. It'll be sometime between Boxing Day and New Year's. And yeah, so you'll be able to see like if I get anything finished. Like chance of me getting Shawlography finished are like slim to none. But if I do, you will see it on my Vlogmas. So I will see you every day, or you will see me every day. And until I see you tomorrow, I hope you have a wonderful time with your knitting or your crafting or whatever it is you're doing. I hope you've had a nice hot coffee or a tea today, or lots of water because it is seriously hot here. Please look after yourselves emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially. Did I say mentally yet? Because I feel like our mental health has kind of taken a nosedive since we've all opened up and gotten back into things. So please look after yourselves, because all of that's important, and so are you. Bye.